This is Christopher Moldong of Chris's Storytelling Corner. Today, I'm going to do a manga review for Skip Beat Volumes 17 and 18. Next time, I'll have a manga review for Skip Beat Volumes 19 and 20, a reading of my fantasy short story, The Witch's Origin, a journal of my time at WonderCon, and a movie review for Ready Player One. Check out my Twitter page and author's Facebook page. Links to all these will be provided on the description. I'd also really like to hear from you guys as well, so leave any comments and make sure to subscribe and share this channel as well. So the way that this is going to work is I'm going to give a recap, a detailed recap of volume 17 of Skip Beat and then give my thoughts and do the same for volume 18 as well. So let's get started with the recap of volume 17. The volume begins with Kyoko having a dream that she's confronting Reino. She shows him an amulet and presents to him God's favorite. Kyoko wakes up and sees God's favorite, who happens to be Ren, on her lap. She then retreats the into like a cocoon, pretty much, with the drapery. Ren tells her that thanks to her, he's fine now, and they exit the trailer, but Kyoko trips. A hammer and a Daruma clock fall from her, and apparently it's in case she encounters that stalker again. Ren finds a small purse attached to the hammer, and Kyoko says it's a holy item, an amulet. Ren tells her that she doesn't need those things and that he'll protect her. And then he asks if she'll depend on him. Kyoko admits to Ren that he gives her courage and confidence, and it turns out that the purse contains the stone that Korn gave to Kyoko when they were young. They walk back to the set, and Ren appears to be happy. Vigil gets a message from the spy, named the Spider, that he can't do it anymore and that the agreement is over. It turns out Reino is not serious about music at all and that his bandmate dragged him into it. Reino tells his bandmate that he'll make Fuwa suffer in his own way. Yashiro talks to Ren. He asks Ren if he ever wanted Kyoko to think only of him. He tells Yashiro that Kyoko would kill him on the spot if he tried something on her, who is so inexperienced. So she's like super inexperienced. Ren sees Kyoko and mentions that she didn't get on the bus first. She tells him that he can't get on before him or before her because he has seniority. The next day, Kyoko finishes packing as she's ready to leave for that day, and Kyoko runs into Shoko, and she thanks Kyoko, telling her that she helped Sho a lot. Kyoko then runs into Reino, who came to take her away. Elsewhere, Ren visits Kyoko's room and Miss Momose is there. She tells him that Kyoko's not there and is in the lounge, so Ren goes to find Kyoko since she's alone. Kyoko shows Reino the stone, and he grabs it and looks at it. After a while, he throws it back at Kyoko and tells Kyoko that the stone used to belong to someone else and that she should throw it away. He tells her that the stone contains negative emotion and has an evil aura. Also, he tells her that the previous owner must have been a child when he owned that. His emotions are not those of an ordinary child. If he continued having such feelings as he grew up, he'd either be insane or he'd have left this world by now. Reino asks for the stone again, gets on top of her, and fights her for it, but Ren then grabs Reino's arm and Reino sees into Ren's past. Reino gets up and asks who he is. Ren says that Ren Suruga is his name. But Reino reveals that's an assumed name. He then says that he used to be a foreigner, and then it's cut off, unfortunately. I'm going to assume it's foreigner. But, we never truly know. Probably is. Ren reveals that his name, Ren Suruga, is his stage name, and then Ren tells Reino that he won't punch him if he promises that he'll never go anywhere near Kyoko again. Reino agrees, but he tells Kyoko to throw the stone away. Reino wonders what's going on with those two. Ren asks Kyoko throw away what? Kyoko says she doesn't want to talk about it. Ren gets mad that they have a secret that they can't talk to him about, like Kyoko and Reino. He accuses Kyoko of being easily duped, and she gets sad. Kyoko tells Ren that she doesn't believe that Korn has left this world by now. She reveals to Ren that what Reno had to say about Korn and says that Korn said he couldn't fly freely. Ren tells her that Korn's doing just fine. Ren hugs Kyoko and tells her that Korn grew up, grew wings, and is flying the skies. Reno gets a call. His bandmate tells him that they got a studio in New York. The bandmate asks Reno if he looked into someone's past again, and Reno says that he never wants to see him, who I'm guessing is Ren, again, and that he doesn't want to ever look into the details of his past. Kyoko sees the ratings for Dark Moon with Ogata, and it's doing pretty well. She has her first get together for a new drama and leaves for it. It's revealed that Kyoko is really busy, and thanks to her role as Mio, all sorts of shows want her. Ogata says that she's already a real actress. So Ren does a performance where he shoots someone in front of a director. The, the director tells Ren that he wants to shock Japan with this movie. To do that, BJ's role is even more important than the lead. They won't tell Ren's co stars who's playing BJ and won't reveal it at the production announcement either. Ren will act so that people won't realize that it's Ren Suruga playing BJ, I'm assuming. Kyoko talks with a director. He tells her that he wants Kyoko to play Natsu, just like Mio, without her dignity, just like a normal high school girl. Mr. Sarara calls Kyoko to come to the agency tomorrow. She got some job offers. She remembers Ren hugging her and blushes. She then shakes herself out of it. Kyoko meets with Mr. Sarara, but she's not happy because all the roles are of her being a bully. It's revealed that Kyoko wants to play new roles that are different from Mio. Someone, so elsewhere, someone talks to President Lori on the phone. He, he says that he'll do his best to move things along, but has a problem. He then thinks of something and calls Mr. Sawara, but he's talking jobs with Kyoko. Kyoko looks at different job offers but isn't satisfied with them. Moko appears and slaps her on the back, asking if something happened. They talk about the roles, and Moko tells Kyoko made the correct decision. Moko tells Kyoko that she can't afford to accept jobs that get her nowhere. It's like she's losing, she says. Kyoko asks, though, losing against what? Uh, Kyoko wants to know what Moko meant by losing. Moko changes the subject and tells Kyoko that she wants to eat ice cream with her while she's crying. And she says this as she's crying. Moko reveals that she slipped. She mentions that Kyoko doesn't watch TV and that there's no way that she'd know about it, whatever it is. Moko doesn't want to see Kyoko hurt talking about Sho Fuwa, apparently. So I guess it has to do with Sho Fuwa. So President Lori appears in a pirate outfit in a pirate ship with wheels. He tells Ms. Mogami that he has a job for her. Ren's on the Dark Moon set with a co-star named Hidehito Kijima, who is pretty much girl crazy. Ogata approaches Ren and tells him that Ko'o's coming back. Ko'o Hizuri is revealed as the Hollywood star who is the pride of Japan. He's also the previous Katsuki and went by the name Shuhei Hozu. Ren appears surprised. President Lori wants to wait on a super VIP like him, presumably Ko. I'll just call him Ko. Uh, President Lori tells her that he's not ordinary. At the airport, Kyoko waits for the Super VIP in her Love Me uniform. It's revealed that the Super VIP said that he'd start from scratch using his real name, so he held a funeral for his Japanese stage name. So this is Ko. Ko shows up to the thrill of many fans, but he glares at Kyoko. In a flashback, President Lori speaks with Ren, telling them that Ko's coming back to Japan. He tells Ren to see him for a while but won't force him to. Yashiro barges into Ren's room and tells him that he saw Ko on television, but also saw the Love Me uniform too. He assumes that it was Kyoko with Ko. In the hotel room, Kyoko makes a nice dinner for Ko. It turns out that Ko treated Kyoko snidely and ignored her while speaking to her in English. He doesn't want to eat her food and calls for room service of Western style food, or for Western style food. He calls Kyoko's food an eyesore and tells her that she can complain and plead to the president if she wants to. He even gets the phone to call him. Internally, Kyoko says that she won't back down so easily when he's picked a fight with her for no reason. So at the end of the volume, Kyoko stops him and says that she'll call the president himself. So some thoughts on volume 17. Kyoko and Ren's relationship, it's getting farther along. Ren got to use her lap for whatnot, and she made him feel better. Apparently, Kyoko gives Ren courage and whatnot. So it kind of makes you wonder, what's up with these two. Ren totally likes her. I mean, this is obvious. Kyoko seemingly is liking her too. You know, um, he hugged her. She's thinking about it. Um, Shofu was still around. Uh, so this is just, once again, it's just something to keep an eye on. There's a couple secrets between the two that they're keeping from each other. Ren is Korn from Kyoko's childhood, and Kyoko is Bo, who Ren has been confiding in. So you can't forget that. But it seems like they're finally getting a bit closer. Um, still say as far as connection goes, I mean Kyoko and Sho have that unhealthy yet very deep connection. I think Kyoko and Ren are getting there. Reino, you know, not a good guy. What can you say? He wants to hurt people. He wants to ruin Shofua just for the sake of ruining Shofua. I mean, the fact of the matter is, Shofua is kind of, like I said, that there aren't many great people. Like I say this all the time with Skip Beat. Skip Beat's full of like terrible people in a sense. Reino being one of them. And then Ren met finally, and Reino finally met. Ren pretty much threatened to punch Reino, and obviously there's something with Ren's past. I mean, we already have the thing with Kyoko and the grudges, and she can attack people with her grudges and whatnot. So there is that hint of like supernatural going on here. Um, the same kind of goes with Reino as well, where it's just kind of like, okay, he can look into people's past. He can apparently sense where Kyoko is at all times, and you just kind of have to suspend your disbelief. He can see the grudges and physically hold on to them. So yeah, you have to pretty much suspend your disbelief with Reino in a sense, as far as that supernatural stuff goes. In a sense, you got to do it with Kyoko too, with her attacking people with their grudges and whatnot. Um, Obviously, there's something going on with Ren's past. I mean, up until this point, though, I mean, we know about Ren being Korn, and Korn seems to be a really nice kid around Kyoko. But I think we're starting to see things in his past that aren't so great, and he's even talked about it. Um, as a child, though, he's Korn. Uh, as he grew up, though, like I don't really know what what happened. As he, it looks like there's a period from like when Kyoko and Korn knew each other to when he kind of went away, and he don't actually to now when he's Ren Suruga. So you don't actually know a lot about Ren. There's like periods of his life you just don't know about quite yet. Um, Ren apparently seems to have a new role as BJ. That's gonna be interesting because you know people are not supposed to know that Ren Suruga is gonna play BJ, so he has to get his acting chops, um, or his acting ability at its highest. He has to hide his identity with people. I guess he's gonna have to act differently around people and whatnot. Should be really interesting. I gotta wonder what this role is exactly. He had a gun, so we'll see how that works out. I wonder if anyone else, Yashiro, is he in on it? Is Kyoko getting involved in it? What's going on? And speaking of new roles, it looks like Kyoko is getting this new role as Natsu. And the only thing we can determine right now is she's talking to a director, and that he wants her to play Natsu like Mio, but not as all dignified, just like a normal high school student. I guess we'll see into that. I don't really know what like to expect. I'm assuming it's a high school bully. Uh, Maybe I can think Mean Girls. I don't really know for sure. I don't know if it's going to get a lot of play yet, or is it just going to be something that's kind of mentioned but not seen? We'll find out. Apparently, something's going on with Moko as well. We don't really know what. It seemed like there was some sort of tie with Shofua. Um, Moko, as of right now, Moko's kind of Moko. I think unless something happens in the future, maybe she falls in love with someone or something. I don't really know. Um, I think we pretty much know who Miss Kotonami is at this point, you know. She seems to be friends with Kyoko, um, doing well in acting roles, but something actually happened. Don't know exactly what it is at this point. I, it looks like Moko at this point is just playing very much a supporting role. I don't really know, just as the friend, you know. I think we can kind of establish her as a really good actress at this point. Um, but yeah, I think at this point, moving forward, unless something happens, I think we'll just probably see Moko as something more of the confidant than anything else. Um, Ko Hizuri came to Japan. He played Katsuki. It seems like he has something to do with Ren. I don't know what exactly that is, besides the fact that they both are playing Katsuki. So there's something there. But obviously he does not like Kyoko, and Kyoko has to wait around for him and do stuff for him as well. And he doesn't seem too pleased with her. So it looks like we're gonna keep going with Ko'o and Kyoko. I wonder if Kyoko's gonna kind of turn it around with him or not. If they're just not gonna like each other. You don't exactly know why he doesn't like her. Well, she's wearing a pink Love Me uniform, and he's just like big time actor, so maybe that's the thing. But I have to think that there's some sort of bigger thing going on with Ko Hizuri at this point. So before we get into the next volume, I'd like to plug my author's website at www.chrismaldon.com. You can read a new blog post every week on there. I just wrote one and put one up. Talked about creativity and originality. Mentioned a little bit of how I went to Cirque du Soleil, Lucia, uh, just a couple days ago, and a little bit about WonderCon as well. So check that out if you can. Also, do you like action, adventure, fantasy, different worlds, quirky characters? Then buy my book, The Mustard Prince in the Condiment Kingdom, for just $4.99 via ebook on Amazon.com or on my author's website. Links to buy it will be provided on the page description. And also, if you can please subscribe to this channel, especially if you're on YouTube or SoundCloud, please do. That really helped me out as well. So, on to volume 18. The volume begins with President Lori getting a call from Ren. Ren asks what he's scheming. President Lori says that he chose Kyoko because she's from Kyoto and is a good cook. It turns out that President Lori is expecting something from Kyoko, and he says to Ren that he's busy and ends the call, but Ren is suspicious. Kyoko talks with President Lori on the phone and tells him that everything is fine in front of Kyoko and appears happy. After the call, Ko asks why she lied. Kyoko tells him that drunk customers often do things like this. Ko says internally that he'll make her cry while she's in Japan. He then puts the leftover food in a bag and tells Kyoko to take them home. He tells her to make sure she gives them to what's his name, who's starring in it, who's starring in like presumably Dark Moon. Kyoko gets angry and dents from form all over the hotel room. She tells him that it's Ren Suruga and that he'll become a better actor than him. He asks if she has special feelings for Ren, and Kyoko says that she worships him. Kyoko, well, as an actor, presumably. Kyoko then gets angry at Ko, puts the leftovers in a bowl, and tells Ko to eat it. They then argue. Later that night, Ko talks with President Lori. Lori reveals that Ko forgot his objective and got in a real fight with Miss Mogami. Ko was sure that he could act nasty and make her cry or get mad. It's revealed that Ko ended up eating the leftovers, and it was really good, so he wanted more. He reveals that he has to make her complain or grumble to him um, while he's or to her, uh, or he has to make her complain or grumble to him, whoever him is, while Ko is in Japan. Ko calls Lori boss and asks if he'll really come out if he tortures her. He is kind of like unknown. Lori assumes that he will probably be steaming. So who is he? We don't really know. They apparently have a grand plan, and then Ko tells Lori that he won't have Kyoko call Lori with a smile and give Lori the day's report anymore. Lori asks what he's talking about and never got a report. Ko reveals that it was all an act from Kyoko and that she duped him, a world class actor, with her own acting. So apparently, Kyoko was never on the phone with President Lori, back or really on the phone with him. Back at the hotel, Kyoko bows at Ko and asks to accept her apology. Ko has a hard time acting nasty, but he still does. Kyoko says that she'll make his breakfast right away and thanks him. It turns out that she thought she'd be fired and was happy when she wasn't. Ko realizes that this will be tougher than he thought. On the way to make breakfast, Kyoko uh, sees a show on the TV or sees Show Fuwa on the TV getting praised uh, as the beginning of the invincible legend of Show Fuwa. It's revealed that Show Fuwa dominated the top of the charts. Kyoko watches intently and gets gloomy as she recognizes that Show changed his singing style, and then Ko also sees that she's getting real gloomy. Ko demands for more food, but Kyoko is depressed and hands him a package of food. Kyoko cuts Ko's lunch angrily, and Ko gets angry with the finished product of the food as the pot is too small that Kyoko cooked the food in. Ko overhears Kyoko over the phone wanting to decline all the offers she's received because they're all Mio like bullies. But Ko grabs the phone and tells Mr. Sawara, who's on the phone, to ignore what she said and that she simply lost her head. Kyoko tells him that she hasn't lost her head, but Ko tells her that Mio is the only definite information that people that want her to act, have on her acting. She, he tells her that he thinks that she'll be able to polish her skills as an actress by acting the bully roles differently each time. Kyoko asks how she can play bully roles differently. Ko says her talents are awfully uneven. He tells her that he's giving her an assignment, so be ready tomorrow. Going to give her a character, and Kyoko has to create and act it out for him tomorrow. The role is Ko's son. After Ko gives her some advice, Kyoko asks what his son is like. Ko absolutely dotes on him, but reveals that the memory of him has been frozen at age 15. His name is Corn, but that's in an American accent. In the Japanese way, it's pronounced Kuan. On the set of Dark Moon, Kyoko thinks about Kwan and thinks that if he's not human, then he might be like her childhood friend Korn. Ren approaches Kyoko and asks if something happened with Kohizuri. They talk about Ko's bottomless stomach and how he eats a lot. Ren comments that she seems to be worried about something, and then Kyoko acts strangely. Ren then concludes that something's wrong. Kyoko starts to get ideas on how to play Kuan, like him speaking English. So, the next day, Kyoko acts like Kuan, or what she thinks is Kuan would act like. Ren calls President Lori and asks what he's making her do. President Lori recalls Kyoko asking for costumes. He tells Ren that maybe something happened with Kuo, and that uh, Kyoko said that it was part of her job. He tells Ren to still leave it to him. President Lori recalls Kyoko asking for clothes, and it brings back memories of when someone he knew was around 10 years old. Back at the hotel, Kyoko acts as Kwan, wakes Ko up, and speaks in English. Ko questions how she can act like she's seen the real Kwan. They both eat a badly prepared breakfast, but both are happy. They speak Japanese to each other, and it's decided that Kyoko will act like 10-year-old Kwan. In a flashback, it's revealed that Kyoko in the past only had her and her mother, and they haven't gotten along really well. She doesn't know how to act when someone is nice to her. Ko tells Kwan that if he's a man, show your guts and fight back when someone gets at him. Ko gives Kwan special permission to fight him using surprise attacks, weapons, or whatever. Ren talks to Yashiro. It's revealed that Ren's father played with him until he was about 10. They spent time outdoors. Ko then is seen doing a show, and Kwan is making some sort of weapon to get at him. Kwan jumps down the stairs with a water bottle in hand and lands pretty much right in front of Ren and Yashiro. But Kwan acts like this is the first time he's ever, well, it's Kyoko, but I'll just say he at this point, met Ren Suruga. Ko comes down the stairs and tells Kwan that they're going home. Ren gives a small jolt hearing the name Kwan. Kwan calls Ko dad, and Yashiro is surprised. Ko and Ren introduce themselves. Ko compliments Ren's costume and says that he felt jealous as an actor. They leave, but Kwan tells Ren that he acknowledges him because his dad acknowledged him. In a flashback, Ko is shown talking to his son. His son says that dad likes acting, so he wants to do the same thing as him. So in the car, Ko tells Kyoko that the assignment is over. He admits that once she's in the role gets created on its own. At the end of the volume, Ren calls President Lori and tells him that he'd like to see him tonight. So, some thoughts on this volume. There's a scheme a brewing, and it looks like it's a brewing by one President Lori. Don't really know what's going on yet. They keep mentioning a he. We can assume it's most likely Ren. That's the way it seems to be going now. As to the why, I mean, I think we can get some ideas here, but we're still unclear. But yeah, Lori's got a scheme. It looks like Ren is involved. Has to co. Kyoko's in on it. Well, she's not in on it, but a a pawn pretty much of this scheme. And I guess we'll kind of figure out what it is. Ko and Kyoko seem to me, contrary to how the end of the last volume was, they seem to be getting along quite well now. I mean, at the beginning of the volume, they weren't. It turns out that Ko's seemingly a pretty nice guy. Um, Wants to help Kyoko and whatnot. And now, especially with Kyoko playing Kwan, they seem to be on not just like really good terms. Actually, if anything, it looks like it's really good terms. Ko also acknowledged her as being a good actress. Like it pretty much says like, and once she's in the role gets created on its own. We've been kind of seeing that throughout the whole series, and Ko just pretty much confirmed what we've been seeing. Kyoko this whole volume was playing, you know, a majority of this volume was playing Kuon. Now there's a Kuon Corn connection here, so obviously, we can kind of connect some dots here. Okay, let's just connect some dots right now. If we are to assume that Kuon is corn, Kuon is Ko'o sun, Ren was corn, Ren is Ko'o sun. I think we can connect those dots here. And I think that, it's not exactly subtle, except for the fact that when they saw each other, they kind of acted like that's the first time they've ever met. So it's kind of interesting. Maybe that's where the author's leading us to believe, or maybe they don't know each other, and like I said, we're just being led to believe a certain thing, and then something else is gonna happen. I mean, they're not totally clear on it. We can make the assumption that they haven't been subtle about anything. But as you can tell, Kyoko is playing Quan. Her inspiration is corn. And it seems that Ko is very much receptive to it to the point where it seems like she's hitting the mark a little too well, you know? It also goes to show how good of an actress she is that she can now play a boy, a 10-year-old boy at this point, which reaffirms the fact of something we already knew, that she is indeed like a really good actress, if not a great actress. And we're starting to see her depth. Yeah, her depth as an actress as well. Um, they keep mentioning corn. They apparently played outdoors. They mentioned that already. Ko and his son played outdoors. Kyoko and Korn met outdoors and seemingly played with each other outdoors as well. So we can assume, we can strongly assume that Kuan is corn. And Corn seemed to be a pretty innocent kid. What happened? If Corn is Ren, what happened? Ren is here. He's suspicious of everything for good reason. He eventually meets Ko Hizuri, who played Katsuki. And Ko gives Ren his props. They are very cordial with each other, but once again, they act like they don't know each other. So are they father son? Like, what's going on here? Is it just an act because you need to deceive Yashiro and Kuan, who are there? I mean, they're there, so like I guess it's beneficial to both of them to kind of keep it on the down low. It doesn't seem like the media knows that Ren is the son of Ko'o, so hey, there is something to be said about them keeping this a secret and acting like they don't know each other at all. At the end of the volume, we saw that Ren wants to talk to President Lori, so let's see if everything comes full circle. Obviously, Lori's got a scheme going on. Ren seemingly is a part of the scheme along with Ko'o, and Kyoko seems to be a pawn in this scheme. So that's all for today. If you like this, don't forget to subscribe, share, and comment to this channel. Thank you for listening to this manga review. Next time, I'll have a manga review for Skip Beat Volumes 19 and 20, a reading of my short story, The Witch's Origin, a journal for my time at WonderCon, and a movie review for Ready Player One. Thank you, and until next time.